we're working quite closely with selves and with PAM in terms of their ironwork and their synthetic design. Their design principles mean that their design is synthetic to the surrounding carriageway, which means that it has less impact in terms of breakdown of the surrounds. This in conjunction with a product that doesn't need compaction, and as I said before, impervious to water, means that you have a really compatible system and a really long-lasting system. We offer a 5-year materials guarantee on this, and our contractor network, they pick up with the workmanship element on that. So as you can see, Jack here's spreading out the 25 mil base layer, and this is what we'll embed the brick in. As you can see, obviously, as I said before, no compaction. It's just basically flows in, is spread into the rebate carriageway. So this material's probably coming out at between 160 and 180 degrees. It's hot material, but obviously it fully fuses with the surrounding carriageway, with it being a hot application. So as you can see, it's just been worked to get that level to then start to embed the brick. And what we'll do is we'll work around that way around the install, and then go back to that point there and start embedding the bricks. The bricks are embedded with a 10 mil spacing, which we'll see shortly, and they are then obviously they embed down into the grout with that 10 mil spacing, which leaves sufficient hot material between, so that it all fully fuses and creates a homogeneous volume of the material there. So as you can see, Jack's broken the brick up, so you can break bricks up to get them in and get that 10 mil spacing. You can turn that the other way. So the bricks are put in there basically to be able to cool the material. So what it means is they're going to obviously be trafficked a lot quicker than putting a large volume of hot material into the rebate. So that's the 25 mil layer put in. And then it's just a case of embedding the brick. So again, the bricks can just be broken as long as you're ensuring that 10 mil space in between, so that when you're grouting, you're making sure that you're getting the hot material between the Paco bricks. And they can be larger spacings. It has to be. It's not a fixed 10 mil. So then they'll just work their way around, and you'll get the bricks embedded, and basically it will look like the third one down there. Guys tend to, the contractors on site, the experienced ones, as we've done here, to get their bricks ready round the rebate to go. Like sometimes when we're doing the training, some of the contractors are still a little down backwards and forwards from the truck to get the brick. But the experienced ones will line it all up, just get it like a jigsaw, and plan out where it's going to go. So it just speeds the process up still further. So as you can see, broken little bits off, just embedding those in to finish off this one, and then we'll move on to that one. $100mm is the minimum thickness, which ties in with 100mm covers, but it can be any depth. It can go deeper, and it can be built up in layers. So if it's a particularly deep ironwork reinstatement, you could do this layer, put another layer of the hot material on, and then put a further layer of bricks. It's not very often that happens, but it can be done. There's no limit to that in terms of the build up.
Can I just flip that on your... Wow, is that all right? Thank you.
So, yeah, as I say, just finishing off, and then we'll move on to this one over here and just get another, the next layer on.
No waste, is there?
No, exactly, and also zero waste, as Jack's kindly pointed out to me. You're always thinking, aren't you, Jack?
Well, when you're doing this and you're on the road, any bits like that, you just
Yeah.
into this,
Yeah.
and you keep the area clean.
Yeah.
You've only got to clean it up at the night.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if you heard there, Jack was saying, obviously any bits that have been used can be put in, and as you say, you can have this, it's purely as acting as a cooling, it's obviously fully compatible with each other. So just moving on to this next one, we've done that layer, we've got the 10mm spacings, and then we're just going on to the next layer. The next layer is basically, it's not your finishing layer, but it's the layer that takes it to 20mm shy of the surface. So you're just basically filling in any gaps. You'll see on this one that it tends to bed down and fill those gaps, the 10mm gaps to the side, but it's just basically filling any gaps and getting you to that 20mm shy of the surface, which we'll then move on to this one. So that's all the guys are doing here, is just basically smoothing that off and getting a nice layer, and making sure that all the areas between any of the bricks are filled, and you've got a nice fully homogeneous rebate filled with the Pacopatch. So we don't have to finish that one, Jack, if we don't have to finish that one if you... I know you're in your element. Give him a wooden float, honestly. He's happy as anything now. He doesn't care that you lot are here. It's just... Exactly.
Look at it.
I've been doing it too long.
You have, yeah. Yeah, Jack's an old school roofer by trade, so he's an asphalt roofer, so he's a bit of a perfectionist. So how long have you been laying asphalt, Jack? You've lost count, haven't you?
Yeah, they have. 54 years.
54 years.
Yeah. From 15 to 72.
Blimey.
Be a big one. But it's just good. No.
So yeah, so it's just basically, as I said before, just getting that layer that just fills all the gaps between the packer and make sure that you've all got it fully sealed. And then we can move on to the next one, which will be the finishing layer. So on the finishing layer, and you'll see we're using 20mm pre-coats today. You can use 6mm pre-coats, or as I've spoken to a few people, I don't know if there's anybody here that we've spoken to, but also bringing in an existing surfacing. So you could bring in a macadam surfacing. This product's still going to function in terms of the performance of the ironwork surround, even with the surfacing on there. It will prevent prevents reflective cracking, so any movement within the ironwork potentially can be, an element of that can be taken up by the Pacopatch system, so you're still going to get a longer lasting existing surfacing, which obviously does tie in with obviously the surrounding pavement if you were doing a resurfacing project. So it's another benefit to the system. It was originally developed as a reinstatement, but it can be used as a more of a preventative system as well, as part of resurfacing works, or even as new constructions. So yeah, so we're just finishing off now with the final 20mm finishing layer. So this is obviously bringing it up to carriageway level, and this is where we'll install the surface treatment. In this case, we're using basically using a 20mm pre-coated chipping 65 PSV, which seems to be the most common.
If you're doing a GPL box on a footpath, you can put some sand on it.
Yeah. I don't know if, again, for people who can't hear, Jack just mentioned as well, it can be, excuse me, if it is used on, sometimes on pavements for round ironworks and small services, and rather than using a pre-coat, it can just be a sand application, because you're obviously not getting you don't need the skid resistance requirements. What you'll also see on this is, particularly on a gully, is that an area to this side of the gully will be left free of pre-coats, obviously to allow water passage into the gully at the curb side.
300mm.
Yeah, 100mm. So yeah, 100mm there. 300. Oh. Sorry, 300. So Jack and Dean are doing the installation today as part of our service as IKO Road. We also offer full training to contractors, be it local authorities like yourselves and anybody who's looking to self-deliver. We have a network of contractors UK-wide who are registered, so they have to receive initial training, and then they also undergo assessment on 2 live sites prior to registration, and obviously that's subject to them satisfactory installation of the Pacopatch. And then we also offer support, on-site support, in terms of our engineers coming to site and assessing installations. So if you're a contractor and you want site reports, or if you're a local authority and you require site reports for the installations, then we're more than happy to support that, and our engineers will come out and do those reports. As I said before, we also offer the 5-year materials guarantee, which is applied for by the installing contractor, and then we issue that to them, and that forms the materials guarantee, with the contractors offering their workmanship guarantees on top of that. So we're just getting the finishing 20mm layer on, and then it will be a case of assessing with the pre-coats. So basically it'll be a case of dropping the pre-coat in there and checking for embedment. What we're looking for is that they embed but not too far. So we obviously go from the point where they've started and then work their way around with the spread rate, which there looks like. What we will get with these today, with them being wooden, is you will get a slightly different, you will get more rapid cooling, obviously, if it was embedded in a carriageway. Obviously wood, it will retain the heat a little bit more. So in terms of the pre-coats going in, it's going to obviously be a slightly different assessment when we're actually doing it on a live site, in the live carriageway.
So train, well, let's see if I can get you handed it for sure.
You can see there the pre-coats that I've just dropped in there, start to drop those in, and then it won't be, there's no rollering involved. It's just basically, as Jack did there, it will just be the wooden float to press them in, and to make sure that they're obviously embedded. And also the other thing as well is getting a good spread rate. We work off 13 kgs per metre squared on the pre-coats. So on a standard, as a good rule of thumb, on a standard manhole cover, we'd be looking at about 8.5 kgs. It's about half a metre in surface area. So that would then give you a good indication with the bag of that you're actually getting a decent spread rate.
It's still a bit. But
As I say, they're just going in, just getting pushed in as they go to get embedment of the pre-coats.
why they decided to put them down.
Also, well, they tell them that they carried out what already wrong. It's indeed.
And that, guys, is essentially it. Pacopatch Ironwork Reinstatement System. I don't know if anybody's got any questions or anything that you'd like to talk about. We're over on demo space 1, so obviously if you have got anything, feel free. We'll be over there. I'll be over there shortly, and more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Anything that you're not sure about or just want to discuss further, then obviously come over and see us. I'll let these guys finish, and then
Let's get combine in the house and get a true fix. This was
so with typically with trafficking, something like a gully, you're probably looking at about 60 minutes. With the Paco brick that we've embedded, because that goes in cold, you've not got that volume of heat, that large volume of heat, so it takes a lot of the heat out of it, fuses with the brick, and then obviously means that it can be trafficked significantly quicker than a system that's applied hot, but you're still getting the benefits of full compatibility with the surrounding carriageway. Typically with an asphalt carriageway, you're bonding two bituminous products.
and specify and extend round the edge.
Yes, we do. So it's basically 50 mil. So apologies, it's 50 mil beyond 150 mil beyond the flange. So on the surface, you'd be looking at minimum 200 mil from the edge of there. So these rigs are, relative to a gully, very big, but it's just so everybody could see fully what we were doing. But on a live site, in practical terms, yes, you'd see a 250 mil band. What it can also do is, if you've got multiple services that you want to, some with, say, I don't know, 150 mil spacing or some narrow spacing, obviously because it's not a compactable product, it's easy to do because it flows between, and you can do them all in one. So if you've got multiple covers, you could do them in one large Pacopatch patch. So.
And I link them into the edges.
And I think that's it, guys. That's the Pacopatch Ironwork Reinstatement there. Thank you for coming to see it. As I say, any questions, anything else you want to discuss, we're over on demo space 1. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you.